It was only a matter of time until the Oppression Olympics progressive stack social justice ladder was forced to confront itself. Now, I, as many of you know, am a mixed race individual, which means I am one of the smallest minorities in this country, and I honestly have no idea where I stand on the progressive stack. Am I near the top as a member of one of the smallest minorities, or am I near the bottom because I'm white? I really don't know, but I will say I'm also Asian and white, and therefore, apparently Asians aren't people of color anymore, so the system just literally makes no sense, but here's where it gets good. Lynn Patton, a black woman, shreds Representative Tlaib for calling her a prop for Trump. Housing and Urban Development official Lynn Patton rejected suggestions from a Democratic congresswoman that she was used as a prop by Republicans during Wednesday's House Oversight Committee hearing with Michael Cohen. Patton said she was there to support President Donald Trump and to push back against a racist narrative. Okay, wait. She was pushing back against a racist narrative in defense of Trump? But I thought the narrative was that Trump was racist. So are both narratives racist? And who is not racist? My God. This is when the social justice intersectional ladder smacks headfirst into itself. Who is more racist, Rashida Tlaib or Lynn Patton? Because they've both been accused of being part of a racist narrative. And I don't know. I don't think anyone knows. So here we go. I hope you're ready. You're strapped in. You're about to go on this roller coaster because we're going to try and work through the progressive stack point system to figure out who is the real racist. Well, first, Meadows and Tlaib engage in heated exchange during Cohen testimony. Daily Caller has this video. Tlaib gets berated. Now, I've heard from the right that Mark Meadows, destroyed Rashida Tlaib at the accusation of being racist. And then I've seen from the left, Tlaib destroys Mark Meadows for pulling a stunt with a black woman. Democratic Michigan Rep Rashida Tlaib got into a heated disagreement with Republican North Carolina Rep Mark Meadows during Michael Cohen's Wednesday afternoon testimony. Meadows had invited Lynn Patton, a black woman who oversees public housing in New York and New Jersey for the Department of Urban Housing and Development, to a hearing. Some suggested the invitation was actually an attempt to push back on Cohen's claim that President Donald Trump is a racist. Well, that's literally what it was. Lynn Patton says she would not work for a man who is racist, Meadows said, in response to Cohen's accusation of racism. She disagrees with you. So here's the point. Michael Cohen, a white man, says Donald Trump is racist, another white man. Okay. Lynn Patton, a black woman, stands up and says, no, you're lying. Like, that's not true. Donald Trump is not racist. Okay. Then Rashida Tlaib accuses Mark Meadows of being racist. This is crazy crisscross. During Tlaib's time to question Cohen, she addressed Meadows' decision to invite Patton. Just to make a note, Mr. Chairman, just because someone has a person of color, a black person working for them, does not mean they aren't racist, and it is insensitive that someone would even say it is. The fact that someone would actually use a prop, a black woman, in this chamber, in this committee, is alone racist in itself. Meadows then interrupted her, but Tlaib continued. He pushed back against Cohen. Mr. Chairman, I ask that her words, when she is referring to an individual member of this body, be taken down and stricken from the record. I'm sure she didn't intend to do this, but if anyone knows my record as it relates, it should be you, Mr. Chairman. So then they begin bickering. So, okay, let's read on. I'm just saying that's what I believe to have happened as a person of color in this committee. That's how I felt at the moment. I wanted to express that, but I am not calling the gentleman, Mr. Meadows, a racist for doing so. I'm saying that I'm saying that in itself, it is a racist act. Mr. Chairman, there's nothing more personal to me than my relationship. My nieces and my nephews are people of color. Not many people know that. You know that, Mr. Chairman. To indicate that I ask someone who is a personal friend of the Trump family, who has worked for me, who knows this particular individual, that she's coming to be a prop, it's racist to suggest that I ask her to come here for that reason. Okay, hold on. Okay. Rashida Tlaib said Mark Meadows racist for bringing a black woman to make a statement. Mark Meadows said Tlaib is racist for insinuating that it's racist because he's got people of color in his family. Lynn Patton joins the fray and says it was actually racist because, here we go, Rashida Tlaib is choosing to believe a white man over a black woman. And therefore, Rashida Tlaib was the true racist. Have you been able to work this out yet? Have we done the math? I'm trying to figure out who earns the most privilege points and therefore who is correct. Because whoever has the most loses. It's like golf. The lower the score, the better. So let's try this. Lynn Patton is a black woman. Rashida Tlaib is a Muslim woman. Which one is more oppressed? I have no idea. I don't know how it works. I'm going to have to bet that it's the black community that are more oppressed, I think, and therefore Rashida Tlaib has more privilege points. And then we have to go by Rashida Tlaib's statement where she was willing to believe Michael Cohen, a white man, over a black woman. So then that's more racist. I'm going to have to say, I will not fault Mark Meadows for bringing Lynn Patton because Lynn Patton is a strong individual who has a right to speak on her own behalf. If she didn't want to be there, she wouldn't be there. Therefore, her willingness to stand up and speak out and give this statement shows that she is there of her own volition and she believes what she is saying to be true. And we're going to ignore Mark Meadows because it doesn't matter that a white man was there. What matters is this individual, Lynn Patton, is an independent individual who made a statement. Rashida Tlaib dismisses her statement in favor of the statement of a white man. I'm going to call it. I've done the math. I am going to say, in my as a person of color who is judging the Oppression Olympics right now, I'm going to give it to Lynn Patton for being least racist, and therefore Rashida Tlaib loses this one and is the oppressor. Does that make sense? I honestly, I'm being a bit facetious. I have no idea, and this is the point. And this is the point. Who is right? Who is wrong? No one. Literally no one. There's no winner here. It's just bickering nonsense where everyone's pointing the finger and screaming racist, and nothing gets accomplished. Now, I certainly think it's fine for Lynn Patton to defend herself, and I personally would say it was wrong of Rashida Tlaib to try and pull that stunt and claim it was a racist act, please. If Lynn Patton wants to defend Trump because she respects him, and she is an independent individual who has a right to do so, you can't call that racist, okay? Let's read what she said. Lynn Patton said, "I was not there to represent an entire race of people. I was there to represent one man, Donald Trump, one man who never minds having the lowest having the lowest unemployment rate for blacks, minorities, Hispanics, women, and who also gave $32 million more than the last administration to historically black colleges and universities." During Cohen's testimony, they mentioned what happened. Patton found the accusation revolting, and she wondered why, quote, "the congresswoman from Michigan would take the word of a self-confessed perjurer and criminally convicted white man over a black female that's more racist." This is actually a really good point. Not only is Michael Cohen a white man, which loses him privilege points, he's a convicted liar. He's an admitted liar. So he's a self-confessed perjurer, criminally convicted white man. So you have Lynn Patton, an upstanding woman of color working in the government, the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Well, her credibility stands leaps and bounds above Michael Cohen. This is the problem with the regressive identitarian left. Credibility doesn't matter. All that matters is they can sling mud and use the word racism to try and smear you. The only problem here is Rashida Tlaib tried using the social justice identity politics to go after a black woman. That's not how the game works. But the rules, there are no rules. Who's racist? Who's not racist? Is Muslim a race? It's not. So I don't even know what's going on anymore. If Muslim isn't a race, then Rashida Tlaib has no grounds accusing someone of being racist. It's a religion. My God, let's read on. Patton, a successful businesswoman, emphasized that the president is not racist. The president does not see color, race, creed, religion. What he sees is success or failure, she told Fox. Patton also accused Cohen, former lawyer to Trump, of falsely claiming during his testimony before Congress that he never sought employment with the Trump administration. He told me personally, she said, that he wanted to work at the White House. So listen, I have a lot of experience with how this system does not work. During Occupy Wall Street, I was actually told on numerous occasions that I was white, so I couldn't speak. And on other occasions, depending on who was the one who was going to allow someone to speak, said I was Puerto Rican or Mexican because they couldn't tell what I was. I often hear from them that I'm passing. That's another thing they say. Oh, you're mixed race, but you're passing. Therefore, you are white. You have white privilege. Okay, listen. Sure, I understand how the math works, but look at this situation. What happens when you have two people of two different marginalized communities accusing each other of being racist? What do? Okay, Michael Cohen and Mark Meadows, you're gone. Therefore, the only winner can be Lynn Patton. Who do you support when the stack is this? And here's the other issue. When it came to the practical implication of what they called the progressive stack at Occupy Wall Street, they would point to people like, so here's how it would work. There's a bunch of people sitting around and they would say, if you want to speak, raise your hand. They would then put your name down on a list depending on depending on the progressive stack. So if you were white, you went to the bottom of the list. But then there were problems in that you can't look at someone and tell if they're gay or trans or these other issues. Sometimes, but not always. So there were numerous instances where someone would raise their hand. The person asking, the facilitator, they would call it, would look around and say, anyone other than a white man? And then the person would go, they would yell out that they were gay. And then they would go, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, you can speak now. So how do you do this? How does it doesn't work? In reality, all that ends up happening is tribal politics, party politics, people pointing the finger and trying to determine who is or isn't racist, but there's no formula for it. There's no rules, there's no math. So all that ends up happening is conservatives will support Lynn and liberals will support Rashida. End of story. And they're both going to accuse the other of being racist. I'm done. I will see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. This stuff is absolute insanity.